Hello, I'm very excited to have with me here Jeremy Smith. First of all, co-founder of Travindy, also co-founder of the Tourism Declares Climate Emergency and the program leader of the climate program at Shell Foundation. I missed that, right?
No, that's spot on. Good to be here.
Good to see you. Good to be here. How is the conference so far for you?
It's been great. I mean, this is the first time I've been at a big conference with people coming from all around the world since the COVID emergency. So it's just lovely to have the chance to be together again.
And exactly, we are all back together, and everyone talks climate change.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on when it comes to climate action in the tourism industry right now?
Well, I think just as we said just then, there's a sense of coming together. The last 2 or 3 years in tourism, ironically, almost synchronous at the same time as the COVID emergency took us all apart, has been a great coming together of our industry to collaborate, to work together on meaningful climate action. One of the significant parts that I was significantly involved in and was co-founder was with the launch of Tourism Declares a Climate Emergency back in January 2020, so just before the COVID emergency. And that started with 14 founder signatory companies committing on their own websites that they declared a climate emergency and that they would commit to publishing a climate action plan. That grew to where it is now, with over 400 organisations having made that declaration. This was a volunteer, grassroots, unfunded initiative. In order to scale it, it has grown into a collaboration between the UN WTO, the Travel Foundation, the United Nations Environment Programme, and Visit Scotland, where we co-authored the Glasgow Declaration for Climate Action in Tourism. That now has around 700, depending on when this video goes out, 700 signatories from across the world, ranging from the largest organisations in tourism, such as Expedia, Booking.com, Condé Nast Traveller, National Tourism through Barbados, the Netherlands, Panama, Kiribati, Scotland, Portugal, etc. Cities from Barcelona and London and partners and others, Gothenburg, small tour operators, you name it. All there, again, all committing to publish a climate action plan. So we now have the potential that in the next few months we will see 700 different organisations of different shapes and sizes seeing how to make their strategy something that truly focuses on playing their role in the climate. And that is an never seen before sense of coming together, sharing and collaborating on the same goals.
So is the main goal awareness raising right now and peer-to-peer learning? What's the...
If we're still in an awareness raising stage, climate in 2022, then we haven't got much left time to live. We have to be in a stage of action. We need to reduce global emissions in half by 2030 in order to stand the best chance of keeping emissions below a truly terrifying temperature rise, reaching net zero as fast as possible before 2050. Whether we get there or not is another matter. But the better we do and the quicker we do it, the better it is for us all. But this has to be about action, and that's why the Glasgow Declaration is commitment to action. This is about plans for action, plans that will be reported on an annual basis to see progress and to see how people are delivering. The talking continues, the talking is essential, but the talking without the action is now about this plan.
Is climate a problem for some particular destinations where, I don't know, they have big airports, or is it a concern for any destination in the world?
The climate is what surrounds the world. It unites and brings us all together and enables us to have somewhere that has so far the only livable planet in the entire universe, thanks to our climate. We used to think that climate change, climate emergency, was something that was significant for low-lying islands in the Pacific or places with a significant amount of snowfall or whatever it might be. But then it's only this summer you see the Rhine drying up. And you go, wait a second, this is Northern Europe, or 40-degree temperatures in London. This is everywhere now, and we all have a place and a role to play in changing.
So, give me an example. We are here now in a beautiful hotel in the center of Athens. What such a hotel can do for climate action?
The simplest thing that any hotel can do is to decarbonize its energy source. Every hotel takes in electricity which it uses to power the many complex parts of the hotel. Thankfully, because electricity comes in generally from a single source, it's a relatively easy thing to do. I've simplified, but in essence, and I'm not talking about sticking a solar panel on the roof, though should you have the right size roofs in the right place with enough sunshine, if you're lucky enough in Athens, nothing wrong with that, absolutely should be supported. But who do you pay your electricity bill to? Do you pay your electricity bill to someone who is sourcing their energy from Russian gas, for example, from oil, from whatever it might be, or do you pay your electricity bill to someone who is sourcing their electricity by financing wind, hydropower, solar? Making that change, shifting where your money goes, finances the necessary businesses. And obviously, in the context of the crisis happening right now in Ukraine, we see how ever more expensive it is becoming to pay fuel bills financing fossil fuels. It has gone from being a necessary thing to have for the climate to be a necessary thing to have for the bottom line. It used to be the other way.
Thank you. For today, we will finish with this question, but we will have a follow-up interview with Jeremy a bit later, and we'll ask you all the stupid questions about climate change because everyone feels overwhelmed by the topic. So for today, thank you very much. Have a good, fruitful conference.
Thank you, Anula. I look forward to the stupid questions.